Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Heather Bell, the Director of Membership for the Orange County Chamber of Commerce. I'm here today with the Executive Vice President and co-owner of William A. Smith & Son, a 75-year chamber member, Jack Smith. Welcome, Jack.
Thanks, Heather. Great to be here. Good to see you.
Thank you. So, Jack, you're a third-generation family business manager. Tell us about the business, how it started. This is unique. Not a lot of people can say this.
Yeah, so we're actually kind of a fourth generation business now because we have our fourth generation doing some work with us, but we're still owned and operated by third and earlier. My dad's 85, 86, and he still works with us multiple days a week. So anyway, my grandfather started the business in and around the Depression era in Newburgh, where we still are located in the city of Newburgh. And, I've often heard stories of him bringing trays of cookies to new homeowners in the city of Newburgh, back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, so, he did a bunch of different jobs after school. I'm not even quite sure if he graduated from high school, honestly, at that point, back then. And then in the early 50s, my dad started after he went to the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School. He came back and served in the Army for a couple of years, and then worked with my grandfather. And my sister Kathy's been there since the 80s, late 80s. I came back in 2003. My sister Debbie came back in 2005. My wife works with us in our Poughkeepsie office for the last 5 years or so. So it's very much a family business.
Yeah, wow. So a business that has been run primarily by family, but started by your grandfather. Any growth lessons maybe from dad or your grandpa that you even brought into how you're working today?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is, I worked somewhere else for the first more than half of my working career, as did my sister Debbie. Kathy's been here her entire working career. My dad's been here his entire working career, and my grandfather did different things. So I think what you learn is there's no right answer to anything, and you have to be open to trying a lot of things. I like the word pilot because it means let's try something and see if it works or not. And if it doesn't, we'll cast it aside, and no one has to be take too much despair in having done that, but it gives you an opportunity to kind of fly things over the business and see if they work and go from there. But there's certain constants, obviously, just having a business that old and the culture that you want to keep and the history and tradition that you want to keep. So if that answered the question, that's my answer.
Yes. Tell us about the growth since the first opening in Newburgh in 1928, and now you're in 3 locations, Newburgh, Poughkeepsie, and where's the third location?
Newburgh, Poughkeepsie. Actually, I'll call them 3.5. So it's Newburgh and Poughkeepsie are the 2 main larger offices. Montgomery, in what was the Chamber of Commerce building beside Walden Savings Bank, is the third, and we have a by appointment office in Millbrook, which is in Dutchess County as well. So,
Great. So we combine the 2 counties very well.
Yeah, and we've got clients all over the state and in many other states as well. So we're not situationally, locationally dependent on working with somebody, but obviously 3/4 of our business is in Orange and Dutchess counties.
So speaking of your business, and let's get into that. So what kind of insurance does W.A. Smith & Son specialize in?
Yeah, so we're an independent agency. I'll start with that, which means I'm not tied to any one specific insurance company. I can offer a number of different companies, kind of like going to a Baskin Robbins that has 31 flavors. I've got 31 plus flavors of different insurance companies I can bring to bear, for anybody that wants to talk with us. So we're an independent agency. We work with about 60% of our business is businesses, and about 40% of our business are consumers. So On the business side, you've got workers' comp and general liability and directors and officers and health insurance and benefits insurance and really any type of insurance that a business would need, from startups to businesses that are clients that have well over 1,000 employees. So, we really run the gamut in terms of what we're able to do there. And on the personal side, it's, your home, your auto, your renters, your jewelry, your collectibles, your secondary home, your landlord property, kind of all the above, life insurance. One of the things that makes us quite a bit different, I think, than most agencies is we're small enough to be very hands-on with everyone, but we're large enough to do all of those things. So, we can work with one of our business owner clients on their business and all their personal stuff and their life and their health insurance, or we can just work with them on one of those aspects, and we're very comfortable doing any of those.
Great, wonderful. Brittany Johnson just said hi to both of us.
I see that. Thank you. Hi, Brittany.
So one-stop shop, all your insurance needs, but something that I really want everybody to know about is this collaboration that we have between the Chamber of Commerce and William A. Smith & Son, which is called Orange Benefit Partners. And this is pretty much small business opportunity for health, vision, and dental. And I know your sister is pretty much the manager of that, but can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So for years and years and years, we've been working with the Chamber in collaboration on health, dental, and vision for Chamber members. Probably in 2008, I believe, we created this actual entity with the Chamber that we mutually own. And what we do is we can service any Chamber members, small business, health, dental, vision, life. We can get into other areas, but the concentration is really in health, dental, and vision, and giving you kind of that private shopper experience, because we have access to individual markets for an individual member. We have access to small group markets for small group members. We have access to the shop exchange, to the private, carriers off the exchange. We can really examine just about anything a client, a member of the Chamber wants to, as regards those types of insurance for them.
That's a great added benefit, especially for a small business owner that wants to be able to provide that for their employees. So thank you, and we'll be exploring that more as well. So tell me, 60% of your business is B2B.
Yep.
What differentiates you? What differentiates William A. Smith & Son, say, from the big guys?
Yep. I think part of it is that we're in the community, we're part of the community, and the people that we're working with, we also, support in some way, buying from them, being part of their organizations, whatever that case might be. But, we also bring the same ability to access what in the insurance industry they call carriers, but, insurance companies that agents and brokers go to on behalf of their clients. And again, we're not tied to any one. So, I see my role as being that private shopper, or for a business, I'm going to call myself their risk manager, because, I can help them identify their risks beyond just insurance. And then we can talk about where insurance makes sense. And we can talk about where we need to deal with their attorneys and have their attorneys involved and helping them alter their organizations in some way to mitigate risk, either with insurance, without insurance. There's all different ways to do that. So what I think one of our biggest differences is that, again, whether you're a startup or 1,000-person organization, we're going to spend a great deal of time with you trying to help you find, that which you think meets your needs. That's our goal, at least. Are we 100% effective in that? I'm sure we're not. Who is? I could tell you we are, but I'm sure that we're not. We're human. I'm sure we've failed or fallen plenty of times.
That's great, Jack. I know I value the personal relationship that I have with my insurance broker, so I thank you for that. many business owners are asking, specifically us at the chamber, and we've referred to many different insurance companies that we work with, how they can claim this catastrophe with their business income insurance. And I know that we shared some helpful information in the last 2 weeks of emails from W.A. Smith and Son about that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so the biggest thing people need to understand, which is very confusing, well, like insurance. Insurance is this, 300-page document on a package that very little people actually read all of, and even fewer understand what they've read. But business interruption is a type of coverage that was created to, it's like disability for a business, but the disability is triggered by a physical loss to property. So the challenge with the pandemic, with the virus, however you want to refer to it, is that there isn't so far seeming to be physical damage to property. Without that physical damage to property, there isn't a trigger for coverage. So, we're telling people if you have a claim and you want to file it, let's go ahead and file it. I'm not going to tell you not to file it, because the contract is between you and the insurance company, and they've got to decide if they think their policy responds to that. You've got to decide if you want to put it on, put it into your policy. That's not my role. My role is to help you do that. My role is to educate you and help you understand that I don't think there's going to be anything there, right now, because of the triggers that make that coverage work. We can debate whether that's right or not all day long, and I'll probably agree with you, but that's, it's a contract, and that's how it's written, and that's how it was purchased by people.
So business interruption insurance, is that a rider? Is that something that every policy has and people just don't really dive that far in?
Yeah, no, every policy does not have it. It's a specific property coverage. And so there's building coverage, as a for instance, property policy can have building coverage, can have business personal property coverage, it can have business income coverage. It doesn't have to have every one of those things. So those are tailored as you put it together. The business income coverage form is pretty specific and pretty similar in most cases. There are some specific industry package policies that have been written that may have slight variances to what the covered cause of loss might be that would trigger coverage. But, basically, I'd say 99% of them are written the same. So there's package policies where it's kind of a la carte, picking and choosing different things. And then there's the, in current day takeout family of four dinner that is maybe the business owner's policy, or BOP, it's called in our world. And often that just does include business income without you, choosing yes or no to that coverage. You may have to choose yes or no to a limit, or it may just include what's called actual loss sustained. But again, not to get too deep in the weeds, but it's triggered off a covered cause of loss. So everything starts in a policy based on what are the covered causes of loss, and then does the thing that happened meet the definition of a covered cause of loss? And then every policy has exclusions in it as well, things it does not cover. And so then do those exclusions, line up with anything that you're hoping might be a covered cause of loss? It's like they've given you things, and they've defined how they're going to give you things, and they've taken certain things back, and then that's an exclusion. Taking it back, taking it away, clarified that they didn't intend to cover it to begin with. That's what the exclusions are about. And again, those are page 90 of page 350 potentially. So it's not a joke, but I'll often tell people, if you're really tired, pick up your insurance policy and start reading it, because likely you won't be tired, you'll be asleep. But it's an extremely, that said, it's an extremely important document that really more time needs to be spent reading.
Yeah. Well, and luckily people like you are there to help us interpret it, and we don't have to spend that time reading it. So thank you so much for what you do. I really like how personal you are with your clients. And that goes back to, grandpa delivering the cookies to the new neighbors that are moving into Newburgh back in the 1920s and 30s. You've kept that as a part of your business, not only for your clients, but also for your employees, some of which who have been there for most of their career. But tell me, what about philanthropy? Where's William A. Smith and Son as far as what do you do in a philanthropic capacity?
Yeah, so my grandfather was always involved in a lot of different organizations, from Lions Club to many others, his church and a number of other things. My dad very early on modeled to us being on boards, being part of organizations. I remember him being a little league umpire and being chastised by one of my friends for a bad call. He did all those things. My grandfather did those kind of things. My mom was in the junior league, kind of supporting from the other side back in the day when your parents didn't always both work.
Yeah.
And my dad's always told us this isn't unique to him, but time, treasure, and talents. Find things that you can give to other organizations and other people, because that'll make your life richer. That'll help other people, and we all very much try to do that. Both my sisters are on boards. My dad has kind of weaned off of being on boards anymore, but he's still an ear to a number of people that call him for various advice. I'm on boards, and we try to encourage all of our staff to be involved in different organizations, whether it's a board or just being a volunteer somewhere. It's really important.
Tell us about the $1 on Friday jeans.
Yeah, so you try to find ways to make work fun too, right? So back, I don't know, this is maybe 15 years ago, we were trying to figure out what's a good way in a professional environment to let people wear, kind of dress down, because that's when people were starting to not want to wear suits and dresses and whatever as much anymore. And so we thought, well, if everybody on Friday wants to wear jeans and they bring $1 and they put it in an envelope, we'll hold all that money at the end of the year. We'll let all the employees decide who we should donate it to. So we've been doing that for, I honestly think it's got to be close to 15 years now.
Great. And the employees decide. It's
Yep.
an employee decision.
Yep.
That's
Everybody. Great. Yeah. It's more their money than ours, because there's more. They outnumber us, so it should really. They should have a say in what organizations are important and need the funds. And then we do other things too. We have little contests internally, and sometimes the option will be, do you want a gift card, you the employee, for something, or do you want us to donate some money to a particular organization, because we'll do that for you? I mean, there's plenty of people that want that too. They like to win something, but they don't need a $20 gift card somewhere. They'd rather give it to an organization that needs it. So
sure. That's great. I like the way that you combine so many different ways of giving. That's great. Thank you so much, Jack. Jack, thank you for joining us today. If you are a member of the Orange County Chamber of Commerce, you're going to go on over to our Facebook page, the private member Facebook page, and there's going to be a trivia question about what we talked about today with Jack, and you'll have a chance to win. And Jack, would you like to share with everybody what you're donating?
Yeah, it's a $30 e-gift card to Ms. Fairfax on Liberty Street in the city of Newburgh.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jack. Again, if you're interested in learning more about W.A. Smith & Son, about insurance, about business interruption insurance, Jack is available. And one little unique thing that he didn't mention here is that if you fill out the contact us form on the website, that actually gets texted directly to him. So that's how personal his organization is. So go ahead and reach out to him via the website if you are interested in talking more about insurance, and join us on Wednesday as we get to interview our corporate partner, Cornerstone Health. And if you're also a member, join us on Wednesday for our coffee break at 3. Thank you again, Jack, for everything that you do. Thank you for your support of the chamber, and I hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, everyone.